Hello, hello! We are back with the Rising Stars, Season 4, round number 4, final round in the Mini Cooper S. Today we are in France at the Circuit des Sainte-Croix, Layout B it is. So still a long track, even if it is the shortest layout here at the venue. But yeah, looking at a 2-minute 40 something lap time in those minis. But yeah, lovely location. It's always with those tracks. Some hate them, some love them. If you get to know the track and the layouts here, it's great racing. You're all around wide track, can go 2-3 wide in some areas, longer straights, options for heavy braking zones to go for overtakes, some tricky parts of the track as always. But yeah, hey, you might have guessed I love this venue. But yeah, I heard other comments already, so without any further ado, we get straight into the qualifying session. Now let's inform the drivers. So 10 minutes. Starting now, 50 liters initial fuel times 1 tire wear and fuel consumption. Here we go. So let me prepare my stuff. It's looking good. Let's jump into spectate mode. And bring it on. So they are all cars. Here we go. So, not everyone. Going out early. Some slipstream battles maybe already happening on that outlap. Everyone is on the track right now, so we should get an update, I think, soon. On the left hand side, the 710 cap is the lead car on the outlap, followed by Neighbor, Tess, then we have Evoque, Devo, the championship leader, and Stu now coming onto the bridge section. And 710 cap already on the run, the sweeping right-hander for the quite long. Is it a back straight? Maybe, yeah. One of the many straights in here. Definitely you have to carry the speed. Long, full throttle section here. That kink is also flat in the Mini. And Ken in the chat, yo. Good afternoon for you, sir. And into the final sector, probably the most technical, this track, going into some left right undulations, and then especially this corner, so you don't want to understeer on the exit. Carry the speed. Just made it. And now get ready for the final turn, roughly at the 100 board. You brake. Try to carry the speed. And here we go. Oh, bit of a desync happening. Well, nevertheless, we go on board now. Starting the lap and listening to those lovely horns. So we look at the 100 board once again. Drake for turn number 1. Don't cut too much on the inside. That looked safe enough. No, it goes a little bit uphill. That kink is flat. Stay in 4th gear, I reckon. Then start off the curb on the right hand side. You brake. Chuck it over. Left hand turn. Focus on the exit. Because it's a bit uphill. And then you should get your car over to the left hand side, open up that turn, and now a little lift needed for the entry of that chicane. Bit overlay applied onto the bridge and then carry the speed. And by the end of the bridge, it's once again braking. Times the 150 board. Your brake marker roughly. Drop down 2 gears, 3rd gear. And early on the power again. Don't touch the wall on the outside. Okay, 710 cap takes a wide entry. Now close to the apex. Early on the power again for the run. A little bit of space given on the left hand side. The barrier has a pointy little bit there. If you're too early and understeer, you might clip that one, so a little bit of cautious needed. And then one of the most crucial turns, so just before the 100 or 120 it is for 710 cap. He drifts it into that slow turn. Looks spectacular. You should focus more on the exit because this next part is also flat. Like just before you hit the apex, little lift needed. Take the inside line early on the power again. That looks good. Through the penalty zone we go. And then 100 board once again. Brake. Stay in 4th gear. Didn't get the inside apex. Runs a little bit too wide. Taps the wall. But gets the power down. It's 243. Tess with a 244. Neighbor 243. Where's Davo with a 240 incoming? 242. Okay, I was a bit ahead of myself. We have Stu crossing the line with a 244. And where is Ewok? 244 as well. So we have Davo with that provisional pole. The 2 minute 42.4. It's 1.4 seconds. Gap to 710 cap in P2 and Neighbor in 3rd. Those gaps are very, very small between the two of them. Neighbor missed that entry to the bridge section, understeered. That should cost him a little bit of speed and momentum. Reckon, yeah, 1.7 down. This lap we won't see an improvement. Ooh, Stu as well took too much of the grass. He avoided the wall though onto the bridge. Ewok and Taz. Let's see. Taz is in P2, gets a decent run onto. Oh, and that's in the distance. Nay hit that wall, so that lap can go into the bin for Nay. Oh, he has one more shot in this session. Taz improving in all sectors so far. 8, 7, nearly 8, more than a second up. I think it's 1.2 at this stage, nearly. Can he nail that final sector as well? Let's go about 1.5. Up for a possible front row start with that lap. Hooks the inside, carries the speed. Just that final corner. Gets a little bit of drift going. Inside curb. Early on the power again. That should be good enough for a 243, baby. 43.5. Nice lap. Tess moves up into P2 and the front row. 710 cap didn't improve. Devo, on the other hand, gained even more. Gets it sideways. Didn't hook up the inside curb. Or maybe he carried the speed. So, where's Evok? Evok improved to P3 with a 43.8. The question is, can Neighbor P2 in the championship so far bring that car further up the grid for the start of the race? It's not much that he needs, like a couple of tenths at least to get into the second row. Again, close. Maybe a bit too aggressive on that one. Oh, and Neighbor bails out of this session. Starting then on that third row. Can we see any improvements? Stu a bit down on his 244.3. There is 710 cap 8/10 down, so he won't be improving. What about Taz? Oh, on the access to the split sector times here on my end. So you see blue all the way 2, maybe 3 tenths up at this stage. Oh, touches the gravel. Not ideal, but I don't think he lost too much momentum. Let's see, lost a tenth. Still improving on that lap. Comes around and it will be a 243.9. Lost a little bit. Where is Evok? Can he move up onto the front row? They with another 42.2. Evok could be promising. Let's see the finishing line. A 243.193. So front row start for Evok by the looks of it. Unless Stu crash before the line. And starts in P6. Neighbor P5. 710 cap in P4. Taz P3. Evok P2. And Devo. And once again taking pole position and 1 extra point. And for this season. So can probably quickly go through the championship standings. So I've posted it somewhere. Yeah, so Dave was sitting at the front with 47 points. Neighbor in P2 with 42, so 5 points the gap. Stu in P3 with 35 points. There's 15 points for P1 in the race, 1 extra point for pole position, and 1 extra point for the fastest lap of the race. So maximum you can score is 17 points. P2 gets 14 points, P3 13 points, and so on. Oh, and let's wait a minute. No, collect the results. Bear with me. A screenshot. Let's have a look. Devo P1, Evoc P2 on that front row. A second the gap roughly between the two. And Taz and 710 cap starting on that second row. Neighbor and Stu on that third row. Neighbor, that's all part of the plan, I think. So you wait for the carnage coming out of the first couple of turns. So all good. All good. So then I think we can get ready for the race. I was waiting for a nay other than to come back. And then we go with 30 minutes of racing here. It's the sports soft tires for all of the races in the Mini Cooper S, as always. The tire wear is ×3, the fuel consumption ×2. There is no mandatory pit stop or whatever needed. It's a grid start with a false start check. Wrong keyboard once again. I'm plabbing it. I don't really want to exit. I want to start the race. So do we have confirmation that Neighbor is back? Then we can start this race. Just give him a pin. Okay, he's back. Thank you. Then let's go. We start this one. Good luck, everybody. "30 minutes. We're looking at lap times. Laps in total? I don't know. "11 laps, maybe? Something like that, 11, 12. I have no clue once again. But here we go. It's green, green, green. Devo with a good start, honking his way towards turn number 1. Taz on the inside already. Will he get the run for turn number 1? No, he backs out of it. Evox stays in P2, Taz P3. Then we have 2Y situation happening. Neighbor and Stu Inside line for an A. Might get that position, but Stu has the inside line for the left-hander. You can go side by side in the small minis, of course. Plenty of room given. Opportunity for 710 Cap to sneak up the inside. Gets a position. P5 for the German driver. Stu P6 neighbor. P4 first time downhill towards the bridge. Easy Devo with a penalty. Turn 1 maybe, I don't know, half a second. Penalty zone is just before the final turn. Don't think you lose that much time. Should be okay. Evoque still has that slipstream. Tess as well. And on those long straights, you don't want to lose that toe too early. So everyone still has a little bit of slipstream at this stage of the race. For the first time coming round in the long right-hander into the longest flat out part of that racetrack. Devo with a massive run, 1.2, 1.3. Looks like this is where he's gaining most of his time. He had roughly a second gap to P2. And this could be one of it. Oh, Evoque goes deep. So easy to do. 710 Cap as well. Overshoots the corner, but no damage. Well, looks, was there contact? I don't know. Stu is waiting. Let's have a look. I think we need to go back a little bit further, see what happened. Oh yeah, there was a little bit contact on the inside and between the two cars. Stu is waiting for 710 to rejoin. Evoque had an off track by himself, went too deep into turn 1, so drops down to P4. Neighbor up to P3, goes sideways all the way. Turn number 1, uses a little bit of the grass, but avoids leaving the track and getting dirty tires, but lost some speed. 2.3 the gap to Tess. Tess in P2, chasing Devo even with that half-second penalty. Maintained his gap roughly 1.2, 1.3 before that, so 1.3 currently, and smooth driving through the downhill S's. Drag early for the right-hander. Tess understeers a little bit. Cross, get back onto the track. It was close. Smooth run for Ney. Gaining a little bit. Evoque, 710 Cap and Stu. They close the gap somehow in this race, and probably some more mistakes or little penalties will happen throughout this race. And look at the Devo, 2.5. Massive run at the moment, so he's out of that slipstream range. And Mayweather gained a little bit throughout this lap on Tess. Oh, needs to find 3/4 tenths maybe to get the benefits of that draft. Smooth driving early on the power. Good exit, 1.7, so the gap is coming down. And 710 Cap and Stu, both very close. Into the final sector we go. The next S's. Too much on the inside. Let's see. Keeps the car on track but collects himself a half-second penalty for that cut. Unfortunately, a little bit of a drift going on, and 710 hits the wall as well. Loses some speed. Stu up into P5, 710, P6, 4 seconds, then that gap to Evok. In P4, another 3.8 to Neighbor. Ooh, strip it away. A couple of those 10th, 1.6, 1.7 to Tess. Tess keeping that gap kind of stable to Devo, 2.4. Let's go on board and see this part of the circuit. This is where Devo gains most of his time. Smooth run, uphill, right-hander early on the power. And yeah, gaining 2-3 tenths alone on that section. It's 2.8, 2.9 now roughly. Nice little run. Little bit of a drift, but gets the angle and to get back onto the power. And opening up that corner, applying a little bit of throttle through the turn, and now I lost a tenth or so. Not the best run, still good enough. 4 seconds the gap to Tess, and another 2 seconds to Neighbor, so they're not bringing that gap down. A bit wide on the exit, nothing major, so into the final sector we go. Let's see, but yeah, lost a little bit. Driving a solid line, no worries. Can also expect smoother. No, going drifto. That rear stepping out. Close to the fastest lap of the race. 44 for Tess, the 45.3 for Neighbor. A little mistake probably on that final lap. He lost half a second to Tess at least, yeah. Evok in P4. Stu after the overtake, and 710 kept serving the penalty. The cap now roughly 3 seconds, so that is penalty and a little mistake of 49 on that lap. Can 710 cap come back and fight Stu for P5? So not ideal run for Stu, a little bit of trust involved, so bit of a better run. Oh, heading towards the bridge, so the downhill is tricky with the weight transfer. Have to be smooth. No drama. And 710 kept gaining a little bit. 2-3 tenths maybe on that lap alone so far. 6 seconds to Evok, 3.6 to Ney. Seems to be struggling a little bit. Not able. Tess with a very solid race so far, consistency, and could jump into the 43s on that lap. He keeps it together on that final sector. What can Devo do? 4 tenths down. Another solid 2-minute 43 still incoming. And 4.3 seconds currently in the lead. Gets a decent run out of the final turn. Yeah, 43.5, good lap. Tess bringing that gap down. 45s. That's consistency for a neighbor as well. 45.3, but probably a second too slow currently. Can he find a little bit more pace? The remaining 18 minutes and 30 seconds in this one. Evoque 44, 45, 44. 45.3. That final sector also seems to be a little bit of the weak point currently for the German driver. Has a pretty decent first and second sector where he was gaining on Stu, but then lost 2 seconds, I think, on that, the rest of that lap. Nice run, good flow through that section. You see Evoque pushing 3.5. Tess. Yeah, consistency as well for Tess today, and Debo increasing his lead now. Will this be a new fastest lap maybe? That looked like a very, very good run out of the slow right-hander at the end of the long power section. 10th down. In the previous laps, he gained roughly a 10th through those last couple of turns. So there's still some time left on the table. Will we get a 42 in race pace? That is the question. Nearly up to 5 seconds the gap, and a 42.8. Yeah, great final sector. Tess with another 43 and a 43.9 as well for Neighbor, but cut the track somewhere. Gets a tiny little penalty. 43.7 for Evoque, personal best. Gaining just over 3 seconds, and that half a second that Neighbor has to serve at the end of the lap. So you could see that gap coming down to less than 3 seconds. A bit of an up and down between Stu and the 710 cap. 47s now in a row. 47.5. That 49.4. So after a 45.3. Long lap, of course, and 1 or 2 mistakes, crucial mistakes where you lose the momentum. It's an easy to lose so much time, and this is a great lap so far. Half a second up on his personal best. Also, the German driver keep it up. And lost a little bit before the braking zone, getting it sideways. Now with a good run out of the sweeping right-hander. We'll see, yeah, a decent run. 2-3 tenths gain and even more. Now carried the speed. It's not gaining anymore. I think we are reaching the top end in this Mini. Just under 200 kph at the end of that long section. So 3.5 the gap between those two drivers. 5.3 and the new fastest lap incoming for Davo. Now he's in the zone in the groove. 42.2. That's a statement at this stage of the race. And 9 seconds to Neibuther, who has Ewok right behind him within slipstream range. So let's go a little bit on board. Wasn't brave enough to stay on the power, so lost a tenth, but gets it back. Better look. Or maybe it's just a little bit of the laggy connection. So the replay a little bit bugged maybe. So let's get on board with Neibuther. It's a better viewer experience. The second, Ewok struggling with the weight transfer. Lost 3 tenths. So that was not ideal. Race keeping up with Ney, and Ney now with a personal best. Lap 6, 47. Did he just clip the wall on the before the bridge? There was definitely a crash sound, but maybe it's just that stupid bug in the game from a previous lap somewhere where someone hit that wall, and that sound sticks to it every time you drive past. So 1.2, 1.1. They is still on a personal best run so far. Also Ewok not too far behind. A 43.7. This is a 43.9 currently. Gap stays roughly at 1.2. Wide, but kept it off the walls. It's 1.3, lost a little bit of momentum. Final turn for Ney. And no drama this time. But Ewok with a great final turn, carrying way more speed. And once again, the gap drops to less than a second, 8 tenths. Davo once again in total control. 42.3, just to confirm that this 42.2 wasn't a fluke. He got the pace, 10 minutes to go. 7 seconds, the gap to Tess. Another 8.8 to Ney and Ewok. They're very close on track at the moment, and Stu and 710 gap, that gap hovering around the 3-second mark for quite some time now. 710 gap slowly improving his laps. 45.1. Oh, maybe getting into rhythm and didn't carry the speed uphill. The car went sideways, probably a little bit too much. Let's go back to this one. Oh, nay, hit the wall. That's a crucial mistake. Gets some damage on the front and loses all the speed, so he will lose that position to Evoque. Now can he tuck him behind and lose the slipstream? It's 3/4 the gap at the moment. Oh, he should be fine. Johnson a little bit too early. Evoque zigzagging around a little bit. So another challenge for Ney then. Keep the car on track and judge where that black car is on the track currently. 3/10. Good run out the final turn, and you get a decent shot at a move into turn number 1. So exactly this happens now. Better run for Neighbor, who has the inside line. Oh, he's not defending the inside line. He thinks I have enough speed to stay in front. Nails that T1. Oh, has to lift off a little bit. Otherwise he would have understeered onto the grass. Evoque a little bit on offset and trying to find the gap on this track. So probably wait until the end of the long back straight. Can keep it close. Maybe Neighbor runs down to the grass and gets collected by barrier. An unlucky moment for Evoque, who hits the rear and Neighbor's car. And yeah, unlucky moment. We go back to the replay and see what happens to Neighbor. Boom! That could have ended in disaster, really, if you hit that barrier in a bad angle. You spin the car and also might risk getting engine damage. So, not ideal, of course. 1.1 second now. Forney still has that draft down on the main straight, the long back straight. It's not the main straight. So yeah, he can still finish on the podium, I reckon. We jump back to our race leader, 12.3 seconds now, another 42. No drama once again for Davo in the Rising Stars Series Part 1. So yeah, it's round 4. We have 4 more rounds to go, and we are changing the car. So we, the drivers, are just commentating, of course. But yeah, 4 races in that Mini, and then the final 4 races. It's the Porsche Cayman GT4 car. So more speed, more grip, but different challenge, 2 tire compounds available, a bit of strategy, a bit of a longer race, 40 minutes instead of 30. So this is coming up next, of course, but we still have just under 5 minutes to go in this race. They were leading Tess in P2, Evoque running in P3, a second between Evoque and Neighbor in P4. So this is far, far from over. The fight for the final podium spot. Stu in P5 keeps 710 cab at bay currently. So both drivers with some minor mistakes on the laps. Consistent lap times for Stu in the last couple of minutes. The 710 cab also looked consistent. Lap 6, 7 and 8, 45 then. There is this painful 47 again. Losing him 2 seconds. So again, so we jump back to the battle for P3. Neighbor versus Ewok Jr. Black versus white. For a brief moment it looked like Neighbor would understeer into the wall. You had a 4/10 gap at the apex, now 7/10, so probably there was a little bit of a lift needed to avoid that wall contact. It was 7/8 currently that gap for Ewok. I think he learned from lap 1 mistake where he went too deep into that corner after the long straight. But good comeback drive. P3 currently has to fight for it. Worked for the money. It will be the final lap, and Devo started it already. Let's see, might be able to do the victory lap as well. We'll see. It's 15 seconds, so yeah, Devo might do the victory lap. Ewok versus Neighbor on their final racing lap. And a good run for both of them, keeping it close. 4/10 currently. Stu versus 7/10, still 5 to 6 seconds, so we are not missing anything. While those drivers also now start their final lap of this race. But this is where the racing action is. Close, close, close. Different lines through this part, and Neighbor with a better run. Initially gets back into the strong part of the slipstream. Will it be enough to get the car in front before the braking zone for the end of the bridge? The left-hander, no, stays behind. And Evo goes deep, touches the wall, and through goes Neighbor up to P3. Costly mistake for Ewok, and also a little bit of damage. 1.2, the momentum is gone. And Neighbor with the opportunity to get away. Oh, the car understeers for Ewok. And that's 1.6 more damage on the front, 2 seconds. So I think that's the decider in this battle for P3. Oh, it's 30 seconds to go, and I think Evo is just cruising now. Doesn't want to do another lap, has a big gap. You need to have like at least 2 seconds, otherwise the game will still decide. Nah, you do one more lap. But he's taking it easy, and let's wait for the final lap. Overlay, here it comes, and Devo with the victory. Total domination for that round. Slow down to avoid that extra lap. Taz finishes the race in P2. Well done. And Neighbor then on that final podium. Last lap battle versus Ewok, and Ewok with this costly mistake. In the end, 3 seconds. P4. Stu kept the 5 to 6 second gap, finishes in P5, and the 7-10 cap crossing the line in P number 6. All right. So St. Croix summoned you, Arne. Alright, so race results graphics, Davo, pole position, fastest lap and the race victory. We will be extending the championship lead, Taz in P2, Neighbor in P3, Evoke P4, Stu P5, and 710 cap P6 for that one. Right. So, as I've mentioned, so next 4 races, it will be Porsche time, right? So, Porsche Cayman GT4 next week. We will visit Watkins Glen, the long course. And so the settings will be tire wear times 4, fuel consumption times 3. All tire compounds will be available, but the racing soft tire will be mandatory then, and 40 minutes the time. So yeah, change of pace now in the series, and let's hope see some close racing at Watkins Glen and in the Porsche. So drivers need to adjust now. Different car. We'll see. The Porsche Group 4 car is usually a nice car to drive. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So hopefully see you next week for the Rising Stars round number 5 for season 4. And don't forget, on Thursday we have the now real season finale for the World Series, the GT4 Cup, the rerun for that missed round number 5. It will be Road Atlanta then on Thursday, championship decider as well. Should expect some close racing there as well. So yeah, once again, thank you all for watching, and as always, take care, love you all, and see you very, very soon. Bye bye.